Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to present to you Mr. Tony Thomas. Tony, how's it going, man?
It's going good, sir. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. I'm doing great. So, you're a person that has experience in a whole different variety of areas. And I know that right now you're currently writing sports articles for Athlon Sports. But I want to go back to the beginning. I know that you attended University for Criminal Justice, but the first thing I want to ask you is you're a person that served at the Air Force. How was that experience like? Tell us all about it.
Well, let me go back even further than that. When I was in junior high and high school, my dream job, if you want to call it that, was to be a sports writer. And I didn't go to college right away out of high school. I worked a job, and then I went into the Air Force at the age of 21. And so I did my 4 years active duty on that, and then I got out and went to college at age 25. Um, I picked a major based on the experience I had just gotten in the military, which wasn't journalism, which is what I should have done in the first place. So it's kind of a running joke that I picked the wrong major in college. But I'm an example that it's never too late to start doing what you like. So in 2019, I built my own website called the Gridiron News, and started that's how I got in. That's how I got my start into writing sports articles online. Was I built my own website, put my name out there. Then I started getting picked up by other websites, College Football Dogs, Mike Farrell Sports, Athlons, Fansided. So I've provided content for several media outlets across the country, and it's been good so far. And that's like I said, right now I'm writing for Mike Farrell Sports and for Athlons and Gridiron News. So I'm kind of spread a little thin on that, but I write articles every day, putting like 3 or 4 a week online. So it's a good thing. I like it. I enjoy it.
So before I go into your sports journey at the Air Force, what was the biggest lesson that you've learned being there for 4 years?
The biggest lesson is just discipline. Um, knowing that the job has to be done in a certain way, a certain time. Just having discipline to get the job done in a proper manner, and so that carries over into my writing, which is just formatting in a such a way where it makes it easier for the reader to read. Keep your paragraph short. Um, keep it to you know between 250 and 400 words. Don't make it too long because readers will click off of it. So my experience in the military is just the discipline to get the job done, um, fortitude to keep going when you have like writer's block. Just kind of overcome that and just keep going. So
So when you started your own blog, what was your mindset? Did you want to focus on just one sport or just sports in general? What was your whole philosophy behind it? Because at some point, us writers, we want to take situations into our own hands. So what was the motivation to create your own blog? And did you had like a structure in terms of how you were going to go about it?
uh, I knew that I wanted to focus on college football because I'm a college football fan. I do watch other sports professionally and college. College baseball, Major League Baseball, but I'm a really big college football fan. So I knew that when I started my blog that's what I was going to focus on. So I knew right out the gate that I was going to be a college football writer. So
And who do you root for in college football?
I'm an LSU fan, and I'm a Southern Miss fan because that's where I went to college. So those two schools I follow pretty regularly. For Athlons, I write about Arizona State. I cover them pretty regular, and then also the Miami Hurricanes. So that's my two. That's the the U. So that's my
Yeah.
teams that I cover for Athlons. So
I'm a Miami Hurricane fan for both college baseball and football. So yeah, that's how you saw me. It's all about the U.
yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Miami Hurricanes and Arizona State. They just came off an amazing turnaround season, and I have good feeling about them. The program going ahead as well. And Arizona State is one of those teams that I'm going to keep an eye on next season and covering them as well, since I have my own platform that I can just talk and write about them. Um, so so what's next? Do you want to like do you have bigger plans for your blog, or you just want to just focus on just writing for anyone?
Uh, my desire is to try to get on with one of the big name outlets out there, whether it be the Athletic or Sports Illustrated or something like that. Uh, Even though I've been doing this for 5 years, I feel like I just need to sharpen my skills a little bit more. And I mean, and just hopefully an opportunity comes along that I can put my name in the hat and hopefully, because I see people on LinkedIn all the time saying, hey, I'm happy to announce that I'm starting, covering this team and that team for Sports Illustrated, whatever. So hopefully, if I was to be blessed enough to get something like that to do as a full time job, because right now I'm just doing this as a part time, but I would love to do it as a full time paid job. So,
Yeah, man, I definitely hear you on that.
yep.
So you did 8 years working at a warehouse associate, 8 years from based what I read on your LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
profile.
Mm-hmm.
And was this after college, before going into writing, or is it something that you're still in the middle of it?
It was I started my warehouse career, if you will, in 2006. This was after college. This was after but before my writing picked up. So and I work a full time job to pay the bills, obviously. But warehousing is something I've done since 2006. It's something I have a lot of experience in, and so that's the job that's the industry that I work in currently, full time. So, but if if a full time writing job came along, I would put my name in the hat for sure. So, because writing online, I mean, it's the internet, so you could, as long as you get a laptop, you can plug in anywhere and work from anywhere. So imagine the freedom of doing that, working from home or working from anywhere, as long as you put the content out there at the prescribed time and in the proper format. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So, so,
By the way, I like that background with the little helmets of football
yeah,
teams. That's very nice, very creative.
I got a little bit of collection going. I'm running out of shelf space, so I'm gonna have to build me some more shelves. But yeah, I started that a couple years back, and so I have all the SEC teams right now, and I'm probably going to start on the Big Ten next because I got some Big Ten helmets already. So that'll be my next collection, is to get all the Big Ten helmets for that collection, and just, like I said, build me some more shelves and keep going. So, but I like it. It's a nice background for these kind of shows. So I get comments about it all the time. So
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that's smart. I mean, I really like it. It's different. I mean, yeah, because from my end, it looks like they're small helmets. So they're small,
they're
right?
yeah, they're small, but they're not the micro helmets that you would see, like the little bitty ones. These are about 5 to 6 inches tall, give or take. So they they're pretty good. They're meet what they call mini helmets, but they're not the micros. The micros are the little bitty ones, but the mini helmets are about, like I said, 5 to 6 inches tall. So they run about 25, $30, depending on where you get it from. So I usually get them for like Father's Day gifts, birthdays, Christmas kind of thing, and I build my collection from there. So, um, but I like them. So
Yeah, it looks very nice, very creative.
thanks,
So good job on
thank you.
that. So college football, we see the evolution of college football, NIL, playoff, expansion, seedings. As you know, Tony, to everything there's pros and cons.
All right.
Given what we are seeing with the changes in college sports, in college football, are you concerned in a way in terms of the future of college football, in the sense that we probably won't be seeing as much improbable teams, small, low market teams? making impressive? Are you concerned or no?
I am concerned because it's not you have your big name schools, LSU, Ohio State, those type of schools, and then you have the smaller schools who may not have the financial resources to um, contribute to the NIL as much as these bigger schools are. But they have good college football programs. Um, so there's right now there, I just don't think there's enough rules and guidelines in place to um, govern the NIL. I mean, a lot of times they're just flying by the seat of their pants, even though they did have a major ruling here just a few weeks back. But there still need more guidelines and more, more equitable, uh, guidelines for everybody to be able to participate. Because, like I said, like if you look at somebody like Southern Miss's total athletic budget may not even be a fraction of what LSU's football budget is. So you have a lot of it's a classic haves versus have-nots kind of scenario. The NIL, the transfer portal, right now that's just it's the Wild West. I mean, right now players can just transfer whenever they want to, whether they're getting lured by other teams for more money or they're complaining about not playing, not enough playing time. There's it's hard for teams to roster management and the rise of the general manager for a college football team is going through the roof now. I mean, you have to have a general manager just to manage the roster, and it used to not be like that years 5-10 years ago. So I mean, there is pros and cons. I am concerned about it a little bit because it's changing the way the game is played and the way the game is managed almost daily. I mean, you listen to the talk radio shows. I mean, they talk about this happened overnight, and now they're talking about it on this day, and then next week it'll be something different. I mean, it's just if they're going to do it, just do it, but put some guidelines in place to where it's a lot more manageable than what it is right now. Because right now it just seems like they're just flying by the seat of their pants on most things. So, uh, I mean, like you said, the landscape of college football is changing, and it's changing, daily. So, I guess we'll see. Once the season starts, they're already talking about changing the college football playoff format for, either adding more teams. I mean, they've gone from last year was the first year they had 12 teams. Now they're talking about increasing the teams again. So, I mean, you know, it's just it gives people like us a lot of things to talk about. But I mean, is it actually going to be changes for the good, or are they just, they just talk about stuff and they really don't think about the one or two steps ahead about what's the consequences if they implement this, that kind of thing. So, I think they need a little bit more focus on how to do it correctly. So,
All right, Tony. So we're gonna play a game, something that I do with every guest on the show. So are you ready?
All right.
Favorite lunch.
Say it again.
Favorite lunch.
Fear and lunch. Fear and lunch.
Favorite lunch. What's your favorite lunch?
Favorite lunch. Okay, favorite lunch. I got it. Well, it depends. If it's fast food, I would say Chick-fil-A. If it's home cooking, I would say fried chicken or pork chops.
Which one of the two do you prefer? Running a football program that's successful, or be the star player of a college football team?
Running a successful football program.
Name me your top 3 favorite sports writers that you love reading their work.
Okay. One of them is Jim Murray, who he's no longer with us. He passed away in '98. Reason for that is he put a lot of humor in his writing. He had a national column that was full, he wrote for the LA Times. It had a national column for years, decades actually, and he was just so funny. I mean, if you read some of the stuff, Jim Murray at the LA Times, it's very funny, but it's very um, articulate at the same time and very informative. Another guy that kind of took on his persona was Rick Riley, who wrote for Sports Illustrated. He's along the same lines as Jim Murray as far as his humor and his work. Another person I like to read is Tom Rinaldi of ESPN. He does a lot of the extensive what do you call it feature feature articles on a topic or a person, or he's got a book out about the gentleman from Boston College who wore the red bandana and during 9/11 and helped save a lot of people and was killed in the collapses of the Twin Towers. He's got a book out for that called The Red Bandana. Very awesome book to read.
Nice. I got to look into that.
Yeah, so those guys are my favorites to read.
A trip that someone will give you as a gift for either your birthday or Father's Day or any holiday. Which trip would that be? To Italy or France?
Um, Italy because I like the food. So um, I think if I had my choice, I'd pick Italy.
Hmm.
Uh,
Nick Saban or Bill Belichick?
wow. Nick Saban.
Okay, okay.
Who used to coach at LSU, by the way.
Yes, yes, he
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that, a lot of his success came from Alabama.
He
That
did. He
that
did.
for a lot
Yes.
of people, it's
He did.
forgotten that he was in LSU. But yes, he was part of LSU.
Absolutely. Yeah. But he also says he has said in public that his greatest professional regret is that he left LSU.
Yep. Hmm.
So,
And it's out
but
there. It's out there. People
oh,
gotta.
it is. It
It's
is
out there.
out there for sure. So,
Respect or loyalty?
well, if I have to pick one, I have to say respect. Um, Preferably, I like to have both, but situations change, personal situations change. Like if you're speaking from a job perspective, uh, an opportunity comes up that they just can't pass up. You know, I'm not saying I wouldn't say they're disloyal on that part of it because they're just trying to improve their situation for them and their family. But respect is any situation all the time. So to me, I think respect.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Oh, me too. Me too. And that's a rarity because mostly people go Coca-Cola, but yeah, I go with Pepsi as well. Well, when I used to drink soda, but yeah, it
Yes,
would be
yes,
Pepsi.
right. Yeah.
Last, last but not least, name me 5 people from the top of your head, whether they're dead or alive, that you would love to that you would like to sit down and have a conversation with. Who would it be?
5 people. Okay.
Dead or alive?
I would say Bill Walsh, former San Francisco coach.
Good
Um,
choice.
I would say John Wooden, basketball coach at UCLA. Um, Dale Brown, basketball coach at LSU back in the day. I'd like to have a talk with him as well. I'd actually like to sit down and talk to Nick Saban. I'd actually just let him talk and I would just listen because I could listen to him talk all day long. Um, and then finally would be I'm trying to pick a player that I'd like to talk about, that I'd like to talk to, and that would be no, you know what? I'll take that back. I'd like to go back. I'd like to talk to Jim Murray. Jim Murray. You know, I'd like to go back. If he was still alive today, I'd like to have the opportunity to talk with him and just. I've read his autobiography, how he got started and everything. And it's just, you know, it's just amazing. His the way he had the way he had with words and how he could express himself. Um, it would be a master class on how to be a sports journalist, in my opinion. So Jim Murray would be one I'd like to talk with. Absolutely.
Those are great options. Great options. I gotta look into that one as well. So, so I'm glad. You know, this is the beauty about when you meet people. You get to learn and find out things that never came across your mind. So, thank you
Right.
for that, Tony. Thank you for those
Good,
recommendations. I'll
good
definitely
questions, man. Good questions.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, last question. Where can we follow you and your work?
I'm on X at Tony Thomas CSB. I'm also at thegridironnews.com and I'm on Facebook.
All right, I'm gonna put all the information on the description so people can find it here on this YouTube
Okay.
video.
Okay.
Tony, much respect to all your experiences and everything that you've done. Looking forward to reading your articles going forward. It's funny that earlier you said you wrote for Fansided. I'm still with Fansided. I've been with them since December 2021. They're fantastic. It's a great spot for any writers out there, any
It
aspiring writers
is.
to get started.
It
But
is.
you get so much value when you put yourself out there and network with one another. And you know, you're another person added to my list that I could definitely see myself talking more often now that we both not that now that I know that you're into college football. I'm a college football fanatic myself, so we could definitely talk more about that after this. But much respect to everything that you're doing, and hopefully you end up working either at the athletic or Sports Illustrated or any
I appreciate
prestigious
that.
company. So you know,
Yeah.
just keep working, keep putting in the work.
Yep. I'll do that. Just to you know, you talked about networking with you know, with certain people and opportunities that come up because of that. Two outlets that I work with. One is Mike Farrell Sports, who I currently write for now, doing high school football recruiting articles. Um, Last year, I was able to go and cover LSU's pro day um, when when Jaden Daniels was going into the 2024 draft. So I got to cover their pro day for Mike Farrell Sports and wrote an article about it and everything. But I got to go in person, watch Jaden Daniels throw for the scouts. I mean, and then I went to the press conference afterwards, got to ask Jaden Daniels a question on the air. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity for me. I saved the recording on my phone, so that you know, it's just one of those things that you know, if I hadn't been like you said, if I hadn't put my name out there and took an opportunity and joined, you know, started writing for Mike Farrell and then started making these connections with these athletic directors and sports information directors at these schools, that never would have happened. So you know, I'm on the list for football media, so that was an opportunity for me to take that. And my boss at my full time job was gracious enough to let me take off that day and go cover it. So I was like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. He said, well, go do it. So I did, and I've got the credentials right here hanging on my wall for LSU football pro day. So I keep that as a memento. Also, the same last summer, I got to go cover Conference USA Media Days for college football dogs. So I got to ask, you know, I got to interview coaches. Casey Keeler, who was the coach at Sam Houston at the time, he's now at Temple. I got to interview him one on one. He was a real nice guy. Made my job a lot easier because that was my first real interview of a football coach. So it's just you know opportunities like that with whatever media outlet you're writing for. You just never know what might come down the pike, and the connections you make with SIDs and athletic directors. I mean, you just never know. So I was blessed to be able to have those two opportunities, and I took advantage of it while I could. And so those are memories I'll have forever. So good stuff. So.